Yeehaw! And howdy, partners. Welcome one and all, cats, dogs, brothers, sisters, cousins, and folk all alike, to the United States of America Land Grand Prix. This is, of course, y'all Tier 4 action, coming live and thriving from the deep south of America. This is the circuit of y'all Americans in deep south Texas, live with the boys and girls of MRC. If y'all new to this, so am I, because that is not how I talk in real life. This, however, is the penultimate round of the Tier 4 Season 17 of MRC, and I am proud to go back into my American accent to welcome y'all to my good man, Stave. Stave-o, thanks for joining me, good sir. That's enough American for me. Oh, wow, that took a lot.
No problem at all. Good to be here. Good to be here. What an introduction this evening.
You know what? I don't know about you, but this is actually one of my favourite circuits in real life racing and to drive as well. It's one of my favourites too. I think it's a belter of a track.
It is a cracking track. There's one or two corners I strongly disagree with being there, but that sector one, the Maggots Beckett's look-alike is fantastic.
It is, and exactly, you're right. There's a huge element of inspiration from other tracks at this circuit, which is part of why I think it works so well. Also, like you said, that first section of the track, Sector 1, is ever so like Silverstone Sector 2. And then you've got a very high-speed middle sector, with a few technical low-speed corners, and then the final section, if you've got any tyres left, is a killer. Championship permutations, obviously, we are at the tail end of the season. This is round 9 of 10. So obviously, this is the point of the season where those who are not already looking at getting promoted could earn a stake for promotion into Tier 3. This is, of course, the Tier 4 boys. The title itself is very, very much alive. We've got a few drivers who are in contention, and we'll come back to those later. So this race itself could set up for an exciting finale. We could also technically see a winner today for the title. So let's wait and see how that unfolds. But the first car to make its way over the line today is D. Brindle, who is on his way down the main straight into turn 1. Brake hard around the black box, which is a roughly about 100 metre board. Numerous different lines you can take into turn 1. Wide or late apex, early apex, or midway through the track. And then here, as Steve correctly mentioned, the Silverstone-esque Beckett's Maggots complex, where you want to take as much speed as you dare. And Brindle's taken a bit too much and invalidated, so let's find another car to jump on board with. Okay. Owen in the Mercedes. He'll do. He's one of our championship permutation drivers, so let's hop on with him for a lap. And let's get rid of all the graphics. Nice and neat through turn 1. He takes a wide approach into turn 2 and hugs the curb nicely. Into turn 3, he opens up the corner, keeping the throttle planted. Cheeky downshift into 7 and 6, now 5th. That helps to bring the car tight to hug the apex. Nice and neat through 7 and 8. Now this turn right and left here, ever so twitchy. Very easy to lose it off camber and off traction, so on the traction even. Downhill, end of sector 1 into the start of sector 2. This hairpin here, it's easy to get greedy and go for the entry, but it's all about the exit onto the longest straight of the circuit, a DRS section again. Here's the line, DRS wide open, see that flap in action. He's got a nice slipstream from the car ahead, that should negate some of his downforce. Hitting speeds of just under 200 miles an hour, 320 kilometers per hour. Brake 120 meters for the left-hander, nearly a hairpin. Now then, into sector 3. This slipstream's here, your tyres will be screaming at this point. Very awkward, tricky and complex corners. Slow, steady wins the race here. This four-part right-hander here saw Max Verstappen become victim to track limits, overtaking Kimi Raikkonen to gain a position on the podium a few years ago. He lost that position because he was a cheating, silly boy and lost that position correctly. Into the second to last corner, where NASCAR and Daytona-like drivers like to go wide. In the final corner, an awfully tricky corner, and across the line with a good banker lap from Owen of a 34.5, 1/10 off of Blur in the Alpine, who's on a 34.4. Right, sorry, I've really had to listen to my voice for far too long there.
Yeah, that's not a bad opening lap for your first run. Blurt, I think, is in the lead, isn't he, at the moment? Yeah, Blurt's current championship leader, so...
Connor, 33.0, just goes and trumps that by 1.4 seconds. He's not messing around. And as you mentioned, Blurt is our current championship leader in Tier 4, so the pressure is very much on because Connor is third in the championship. He's 5 points behind, so really, if Connor, Blurt, or Owen win the race today, they are the top 3 in the standings. Any one of those wins the race today, they will take the lead into the final round at Imola. That said, Senna.
I've checked how close the points were, to be honest. I've just got their positions. How many points are between them, do you know?
Yes, so Blurt's got 104 points, he leads. 1 point behind is Papito in the Aston Martin. And then you've got Connor in P3, who's a further 4 points behind, so it's 5 points in total, which really is phenomenal to think you've got 3 cars 5 points apart with 2 rounds to go. It's extremely open. Papito currently in P11, not yet got a lap in. Let's jump on board with the man in the Aston Martin as he comes around the final corner, finish his lap. P4, 34.5, good banker, just a 10th off of Blurt. So there you have it. There's some already good action and good opportunity for the race being set up between the championship fighters.
Senna's just putting a blinder as well.
He has a very appropriate name for such a quick man as well. If I don't say so myself.
Very well in Tier 3 as well as a reserve.
Yeah, he's a very quick guy, and if you're going to have a name like Senna as your Discord name, you've got to be pretty good.
It's a brave move, isn't it, when you're playing a Formula 1 game?
It really is, and the fact he's in McLaren as well, it's almost like it's meant to be.
But yeah, very quick indeed.
Shift God, there's a name that spells pace. He's currently in P9 with a 36.7. He's currently on a lap. Let's see if he can improve on this lap. Let's get the lap data and inflammatory on the screen. He's low on battery, absolutely abusing that power pack. More than I was abusing Guinness at the weekend, which is saying something. So, where is he coming into the Sector 2? He's 1.3 down. We're going to leave him to have his humble pie, and we're going to look at somebody else. Brindle, having a second bite at the cherry in the Haas. Of course, the American Grand Prix, the American team of Haas. Nice little link up there for the American flag on the halo as well. See if he can improve on the invalidation he did last time in Sector 1. I love this first sequence of corners here. It flows, if you get it right, it flows oh so nice. Of course, you get one of them wrong and you are up creek without a paddle. He's got a lot of traffic. He's got to come down the Red Bull. We'll be annoyed about that. He didn't look so stable, but the point stands. If a car blocks you on a lap, that is extremely frustrating.
Oh no, in that positioning.
And I believe it was Sully PFC in the Red Bull. We just catch him on board now. It must have been. Let's find someone else to pick on. Smoggy Ghost in the Ferrari. Forza Ferrari. Grazie a tutti. He's at the end of Sector 2. It's easy to invalidate at that hairpin there, where we've just seen Smog come through. We saw about controversy last season between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen at that corner with track limits. It's a very easy one to get forced off line there if you're fighting another car or if your tyres just have nothing left.
Yeah. There's been quite a lot of track penalties so far this week across the tiers, I think, because as you say, it's a very tricky one, and even if you're not, whether you're fighting people, it's still tricky, even if you're being real clean and tidy to avoid getting over them lines. It
sure is. The weird thing is, it's such a high downforce track, and it's one of the widest circuits on the current F1 calendar. And yet, because the nature of the corners that leaves you pushing and wanting more and more, it's so easy, even with a wide track, to stick to that typical racing line. I mean, Sector 1 and the final sector in particular, and then validate. It's just desperately easy.
Yeah. It's because it's so nice to steal a lot of curb in this track as well. You want to be...
Yeah.
But literally, you're pretty much 90% over it most of the time, if you can be.
Indeed, just looking at Blurt starting his lap and through the final 2 corners, that's exactly what he was doing, taking all the entrance curb, all the exit curb for all of its worth and more. Let's get rid of the graphics and see what Blurt can do. As you mentioned earlier, he is our championship leader. He's the one they're all chasing. He's the one with everything to lose today. If he wins the race today, he is the champion. But if he doesn't win the race today, he is vulnerable and prone. As he invalidates in the end of Sector 1, he's a 10th up.
Coming out of that second turn, and then he just slightly missed the apex. And as you know yourself, as soon as you lose that right line, it all just gets worse and worse. And yeah,
indeed, and that's crucial. he's now obviously vulnerable in P4 to potentially losing position to cars behind. Gunther in the Ferrari is at the end of sector 2. That beautiful Scarlet Ferrari. Let's see what he can do. Gunther is 2 tenths up, currently P9. This 2 tenths would not improve his position, but would obviously further protect him from being jumped by cars behind him. Let's see what we can find in the final sector. Of course, this, as we mentioned earlier, is such a tricky section. Easy to get it wrong. The second to last corner in particular, which is a left-hander coming up. You mentioned jumping the curbs, looking for greens, looking for time, being a vital part of this track, and Gunther is quite cautious there through the second to last. So clearly he's either lacking confidence in the car and the setup, or is he just playing safe? Either way, he's flying high for second and jumps up to P8 ahead of his teammates. Clearly playing safe is paying off for him today.
I'm just on board with Connor as well. He's just coming to the end of sector 2 now. He was 3 tenths up.
He is, yeah, and that's now 4 tenths.
4.5 tenths nearly.
Yeah,
so,
good spot.
Great improvement.
Yes, this time here would put him provisionally on pole position. Let's see how he fares in this final sequence. He takes a lot of curve on the left-hander there. He takes an early-ish entry. And he takes a late apex for the right-hander here, which is very wise as it tightens and then loosens again. Lots of curve on entry for the penultimate corner and on the exit as well. You don't want to take too much curve on the final corner though, because it can unsettle the car. Looks neat and tidy, and he goes fastest. Great lap.
That's a good lap time.
That's a fantastic time. I'm very impressed with that one. But Senna is up on himself by half a tenth in the middle sector. Does improve by a tenth and a half overall, but that does not match Connor's lap time. Great pace from Connor, who is one of our title fighters. I want to give a big shout out to GTS Drag King. He was asking earlier when Gav was meant to be on comms. Unfortunately for Jarl, I am your standing lead commentator today. I do apologise that you have to listen to my fantastically boring tones rather than Gavin's extravagant, fantastic voice. But GTS Drag King did request from Gav earlier a personal request of no nicknames tonight. I'm proud and pleasantly happy to bring the public and not GTS Drag King what they want, which is GTS has a new nickname tonight, which is RuPaul. And if you ask why he's called RuPaul, because I'm going to call him GTS Drag Queen. And of course, the best drag queen of them all is RuPaul. So, come on RuPaul, you're in P3, get on with it.
Get the job done.
Bish, bash, bosh. Right, Papiso is not on a good lap in P6. He needs a good lap today to really make a stance for his championship hopes. Currently giving a teammate, GXDM, a little slipstream, but he's not on a lap either. So, one of the Aston Martins are both just doing a double warm-up for the next lap. I don't advise it personally because tyre wear here is appalling.
It is shocking.
Really, there's a lot of words that I'm not going to say live on stream that really suit the tyre deg at this track.
I found this game in general so far from the tracks we've done, the tyre deg has been massively high anyway. But yeah, this track, it's the last series of right handles, I suppose, and that first sector through the S's. It's a lot of speed and a lot of pressure on the rubber.
I debated doing a two-stop on Monday in Tier 1, and that was before the weather and safety car came into effect. I was debating a two-stop.
I did exactly the same. I think I actually set it up originally for a two-stop, and I had a medium, hard. But I think the mediums I ended up pushing for some reason to like 12 or 13, and then stayed on the hards, and then like you say, the rain came in at the end, so managed to just sort of drag it out.
Exactly, that's exactly what I did. I did a one stop and prayed that the dry tyre would last when it got slippy, which somehow it did.
It was
until the last lap.
Yeah, it was very strange. I must admit the last lap did get very hairy, but I kept waiting to see people dipping into the pits for the inters, and yeah, unfortunately nobody did. So it was a case of right. But I watched some of the replay of the last two laps, I think, with myself, and coming through the end of sector 1 into sector 2. It was like watching paint dry. I was going through so slow.
I don't dare watch mine back, but one thing I did enjoy was Ugoni, obviously hail be to Ugoni, the 7-time Tier 1 champion, was on intermediates, and I was behind him and Bobo, both on inters. I was on used mediums, they were brand new inters, and I was keeping up with them. I couldn't get the move done because I just didn't quite have the traction at low speed, but everywhere else I was faster. but obviously low speed traction, you use that much time that that's it, your moves opportunities are done with such high downforce too. And yet somehow we were hanging on. Nels has been disqualified for parking dangerously.
Yeah, that's a real shame. I think he pulled over into the gravel. I think there was a couple of drivers coming up behind him, so he just tried to get us out of the way as possible.
That's a shame. He was in P3 or 4, so
he's just gone back into another wall.
Oh yeah. So here comes Isaac, his teammate in the other Williams. He goes P6, 34.3. Good lap. Let's see where GXDM is. He's on track, just starting his lap in the Aston Martin, currently P9. GXDM's real name is James Bailey. Now, he's no relation of mine, but that is my same surname. So that bodes well for you, good sir. That means you might just make it to the end of the race. I can't promise you much more than that.
Interesting to see if anyone can say what the weather's like in the race if they can.
That would be fantastic if possible. Of course, as much as our commentary box is fantastic and thriving and live, we don't unfortunately have any access to the outdoors at the circuit, which is a shame. So, people of the stream, there's 19 of you watching right now. Not a single comment. What I want to see is a flood of comments in the YouTube chat, as Drag King has now been disqualified. I want to see a flood of comments in the YouTube chat, which is heavy rain, lightning, snow and sleet all race long, for example. Barbecues midway through Sector 3.
I mean, when it goes in Texas and this track, it is brutal.
Exactly, and
not very often I've seen it, but yeah, it's pretty crazy.
One that comes to mind is 2015, Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg's title fight in the rain here. That was colossal rain, and the rest of the time of the race here, it's bone dry. But here we go, GXDM into the final two corners. What can he do with his lap? Hopefully he can improve. He has used all his batteries, got so wide the final corner, and that is his lap chalked, invalidated. He was 3 attempts up, and he's invalidated. That would have put him no higher, but principle of a better lap is a better lap. Gunth in P9 is 9/10 up on his lap. By the way, 9/10.
Not bad at all. That's a good final push.
Let's see what he can do. Steady through the penultimate corner, keeps it well within track limits. He does not want to waste this opportunity. And across the line he goes to P7, 1.1 seconds improvement. Speaking of improvements, Mark Hodgson, who was with me an hour and a half ago having a cheeky pint, he's now in Milton Keynes having another pint. I'm very jealous of Mr. Hodge. I hope I warmed you up well. Connor, he's warming up well for the evening's events. He's just gone even faster with a 32.4. Senna, what have you got in response? Let's jump on board with the McLaren man. He's midway through Sector 1. He crossed the line just in time to start a lap, and he's nearly 3 attempts up! He's invalidated! Oh my word, he was nearly 3 attempts up in Sector 1 and he's invalidated. Let's jump to Josh Boy, Papiso by the way, P3, 33.4.
Just coming to the end, I missed his first sector split when I jumped on his car. But,
that's okay. Josh Boy is a 10th up at Sector 1. Sector 2, he's now still a 10th up, so it's going to be tight, see if he can gain any positions. Isaac in P5 is done. Blurt P6, he is done. Smoggy Ghost in 7th, he is done. So Gunth, we've just seen pop his time in. I don't think he's going to have another lap. Owen and Josh Boy are the two that we're going to be paying attention to as the ones that could make some major moves here. Into the final two corners, he needs to go all in. Huge slide, but he catches it well. That was a big slide.
Of speed in there.
He did. That was, you know what, he was going full Texas gun ho. P3.
Oh, he's made nice time in that last few corners.
Even with that big slide, that was worth it. Absolutely worth it. Senna will be furious with himself. Let's see what Gunth is doing. Yeah, he's not on a lap. Sully in P10. Let's see what the Sully man can do. Very cautious in the penultimate corner, and he's boxing. Yep, his time is done. That is qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. As Connor pits, and that leaves just Gunth on track, and we know he's not on a lap. He takes the flag just to be safe. There we have it.
Oh.
So, I think it's fair to say, let's have a quick little look at the standing. We'll get the round of the time. So on pole position, it is the one and only Connor Mark II in Mercedes. Alongside him is Senna. Josh Boy and Pepito take up row 3. P5 for Isaac. 6th for Blurt, our championship leader. The Ferraris are 7th and 8th for Smoggy and then Gumpf, 9th, 7th, and rounding up the top 10 is Sully. The rest of the grid is GXD, Blurred Magic, Shift God, Brindle, C8 Lou, Amar, KG, Drag King, and last but not least is Nels. So,
well,
a very, very thrilling first part of the stream for qualifying, of course. They can have a 5-minute break for those who are not familiar with the MRC procedures, and if you're not, get with the times. MRC over any other Wednesday night business. There are your times as discussed. So, the interesting fact here is Owen Williams, aka Blurt. He is our championship leader, P6 on the grid. Our resident man from Bulgaria, Papito, is P4. He's second in the standings, and Connor, our pole sitter, is third in the standings. So the top 6 has all 3 of the championship protagonists. There is an outside chance that P4, which is GTS Drag King, could sneak the title. There is also a very small chance that Mark Smith, aka Blurred Magic, in P5 could sneak the title. There is a few people who could, in theory, just about do it. But it would take a lot of results to swing for those things to happen.
Well, anything can happen at this track, I think. Turn 1 in particular, I mean, we've discussed the likes of the track for the opening of a race going into turn 1 and out of it. It's nice because it's wide, but you can probably get 4 or 5 cars all going in then to a turning which goes down to maybe 2.5 cars width.
Exactly.
So usually makes the start quite interesting.
It sure does, and with that uphill braking zone, it's one of the steepest ascends in Formula 1, not just for a start sequence, but in general. Going into that uphill braking zone means you can brake from incredibly high speeds, incredibly late. The amount of, like you said, how wide that line is on entrance, it does bottleneck on the exit, but if you pick your line right, you get lucky and, well, take your chances well. You can make moves of all sorts of different lines and directions through that sequence. And obviously, if people are battling and you get lucky and dart through a gap, or get unlucky and other people collide or block off your route, it can have huge knock-on effects for the grid all the way back. If you're at the front into turn 1 and you get a good run, you want to take the right-hand side, the racing line uphill. If you don't get a good run, or if you're all attacking, you want to take that inside line, get first to the apex, keep it on track. Obviously, don't run the next car offline, but stop them from getting that late apex to switch back on you, because the switchback line here is powerful, but getting to that apex first and blocking someone off ruins all the momentum, and that is vital. Speaking of momentum, looking at the title fight here, interestingly, Connor's on a real vein of form. He won our last race, and he's been in the top 5 in all of the last 5 races. As has Blurt has been in the top 5 for the last 5 races as well. He's not won any of those. He's come second twice, third twice.
Yeah, last week was third, I think.
It was indeed. He's very much in the mix, despite not having necessarily the best results. In the first few races of the season, he's come strong as the season's gone on, as has Connor. The first 3 races, both Connor and Blur actually had poor starts. So did Pepito. Between the 3 of them, there was 1 points finished in the first 3 races. And yet the 3 of them are suddenly, now we are here at the business end of the season, regularly picking up podiums. The 3 of them picking up regular podiums, in fact, over the last 5 races. Unfortunately, Pepito missed the race in Hungary, which actually derailed his chances for the title hugely. He actually had a nice lead going into Hungary. Coming out of Hungary, having not raced, with Blurt coming P3 and Connor winning the race, means he's gone from having a nice lead of 15 points to Blurt to being a point behind him. So the momentum between those 3, they've all got a bit to go on their back, a bit of encouragement and drive. But ultimately, like you say, it's tough to take to have had nearly a race win lead going into a round to them being behind. That's huge. Well, not to sound all Will Buxton here, but whoever does lead the championship out of this race, they've got a huge bit of bragging rights and huge opportunity going into that final round. And obviously, Imola, final round, it's going to be hella hard to overtake. Unlike here, where overtaking is possible.
Yeah, I mean, Imola, you've pretty much got the start finish. There's the hairpin, I suppose, is the option, but you've got to be quite brave because it does get tight. Anywhere
Yeah,
else, I would say is quite a risky move. Maybe the chicane at the end,
it
but
sure is.
again,
But then if you're at that point in the lap, if you wait one more corner, you get DRS, and then you can
yeah,
send it out of Tamburello down, like you say, the main straight, sorry, out of the Ravazza in towards Tamburello. If you wait another lap, obviously if you've got tyre wear advantage on someone, then sure, it makes sense to go for it. But if you don't, you might as well wait for DRS. Whereas here, you can go for it as turn one. If you've got the pace out of turn one, you can get the switchback and then pull away through the S sequence. You can go for it the hairpin before the DRS or the DRS section on the back straight. And then you can go side by side through the final sequence quite easily, as long as you've got enough grip in your setup. Speaking of setups, I don't know about you, but I went very, very, very high on the wings on Monday.
yeah. I think I was pretty up there. I can't remember the exact figures, but I think it was 40, maybe mid 40s on the front and just under 40 on the back. I think
Yeah,
38-40,
I was
something like
slightly
that.
high. I was 45, 41, and that's because I saw the rain. The rain coming as late as it did kind of screwed me a little bit because I jacked up the ride height and the wings by 3 clicks each.
Right,
Had it not rained, I would have been 43, 38, I think it was I was going to run. So I jacked the wings up quite a bit, and the ride height out by 3 clicks, compromising a lot of pace, and all for nothing as it turns out.
Isn't a lot of downforce, isn't it?
But yeah, it
Or
does,
the
and
ground effect, rather. Sorry.
yeah, and obviously that first sector in particular, you really need the car planted on the ground, getting all that lovely air to the right places.
I still don't think mine was quite right. It felt nice enough, but when I was going through those S sections with what seemed to be any cars behind me, they always closed in until I came out of the last 2 corners before you go down the hill into the
Yeah, end of
left-hander.
sequence, yeah.
But
Here we
yeah,
go,
mate,
we're back on the
all
grid.
blimey.
That was nice and quick. It's almost like our
Yeah.
small talk was pleasant and
Was,
exchangeful.
I
Of course it was. We
was
are
just I was just going to
gentlemen.
check and see if somebody had jumped the start because it didn't feel like 5 minutes. Always a
Time
pleasure.
flies. Time flies when you're having fun. Always a pleasure, never a chore. But
Indeed.
here we go. So the majority of the grid are on the medium tyres. That is pretty much the whole lot, with the exceptions of Senna in P2, GXDM P11, Blurred Magic P12, Sprindle P14, and Armar Red in P16. All other drivers of the grid are on the medium tyre. I don't expect to see anyone using the soft tyre. If you use it, you are probably going to need your hard drive check-in because it's not a good race tyre, it's a great qualifying tyre, but has absolutely no life and no ability to be preserved for long-term pace. The medium tyre feels great for the first 4, 5, 6 laps, and after that it drops off quite considerably. The hard tyre is much more consistent but doesn't last that much longer than the medium. So don't be surprised to see people picking anywhere between lap 7, 8 up to lap 15 on the medium, and then the hard tyre obviously going a bit further. And there you go, there's the AWS strategy coming up to lap 15 on the medium. So, you know, looks like I know something after all. Have a brain somewhere deep in my body. One stop strategy is the way. The 2-stop with double medium hard or medium hard hard, if you're really feeling like you want to go harder or go home, is an option. It is around 10 to 12 seconds slower, so if there's a safety car, or if you just really feel arrogant and like you're 10 seconds faster than everyone else, then go for it. Why not? Be ballsy. But here we go, into the final corner, as these guys are nicely just getting on with it on their promotion lap. No tippy-toey here. Who are you putting your money on today, Mr. Steve?
Well, I think I'm going to have to go personally with I'm going to go with Owen, but I just think he'll just put it out the bag.
From P6 he's got work to do, but as we've seen this season he's got great consistency, great points, and from on the inside of the grid he has an opportunity. I'm going to go with Papito in P4 again on that inside of the grid. I've just got a feeling Papito's got something up his sleeve. Points to prove after missing the last race.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, maybe he thought he could afford to take one off, lose to get 1 point behind, and then just stamp down his authority again in the next race.
Exactly. Here we go. The light sequence begins. Well, it should shortly. Yep, here we go. Let's get rid of the telemetry. 5 lights are lit, and here we go. And it's an immediate start from Senna. Great launch, and same for Pepito. Look at the launch from the man in Aston Martin. At the inside. Oh, there's contact between the Mercedes and the McLaren. That's Senna and Connor, and he's held on though.
That's unfortunate.
Yep, Senna's held on to position.
I was going to come out of turn 1 full on in the lead then for a minute. That was a fantastic start.
I was so close to saying that my genius knows no bounds. Unfortunately, Pepito didn't quite get the job done, but he did get a good start. He's up 1 position past Josh Boy, 95. Let's have a look at the position change. So yeah, there it is, P3 to P4 swapping. Blurt, your prediction made a position on Isaac. So that's the guys inside the grid, the non-racing line, made better starts. Senna made a good start too. And then you've got Sully is up 2 places, Blur Magic's up 2, C8 Lou and KG even are up 3 places each, and then GTS Drag King has made a place too. Let's drop down the order. There's a few overtakes going on. Got a big battle between Owen and Sully into the hairpin. All clean, and there's contact between C8 Lou and Blurred Magic into the hairpin. Very odd to see on lap 1 such aggression between 2 drivers. And then just behind Gunther, there's a huge send there from C8 Lou on Gunther. Gunther had taken an aborted line through that corner, and in doing so has lost position to the Haas of KG.
Very crowded around there at the moment.
It is, and he will be livid. Brindle in P15 will be looking to capitalise, and of course the high T drivers are now pitting. Lots of drivers are pitting.
Oh, okay, for these reserve pits.
Yeah, so Nels, Armar, GTS, KG, C8 Lou all need to pit due to higher tier compulsions of the rules. Senna, by the way, he's had a bit of a moment. He's got Pepito all over the back of the sector 1. There's a 2-second gap to Connor already.
So last time I looked at their gap, he was about 0.9. So yeah, big loss there.
Blurred Magic with a penalty already. The first driver to get a penalty today. That was not good. But here we go. We're going to stay on board with Pepito as he approaches the back of Senna. The next straight is DRS activation zone 1 of 2 on this track. And look at that, Senna immediately going defensive, going well offline, trying to break the toe.
I don't think it's going to save you.
Absolutely not. There's such high downforce here. And look at that, bread and butter. Candy from a baby. Oh, and Senna's gone late on the brakes. Pepito went early.
Contact, a little bit of wheel banging.
There's the curse in full flow, because I said it was a job done, easy to like, and yet Senna hold position. Pepito being cautious. Sometimes being cautious is key. But with the gap that Connor's pulling, if Pepito has more life in the tyre right now compared to the hards and Senna, he needs to use it. And look how much more grip he's got in this final sequence. They've lost another 4 tenths since we even spoke about the gap. That's how much more pace right now Connor on the mediums has got, and Armar Red at the back of the field is off. It looks like he's got a problem.
Yeah, there was a yellow a minute ago. I didn't see anything on the camera, but yeah, Armar's in a wall.
Blurt on the back of this train that Senna was creating. The 1 place up from his position is very much stuck along with Josh Boy and Pepito behind Senna, and he's got Isaac for company behind him. GTS Drag King now picks up a track limit penalty. These guys need to remember it's a marathon, not a sprint. You need to keep it within those white lines. Don't be like Pablo Escobar, keep off the white lines. Now then.
Long race.
It sure is, and if you're going to go with gun-ho so early on, I shouldn't be making so many gun references about American Grand Prix, but if you're going to go all guns blazing, oh, I've done it again, I didn't even mean that one. If you're going to go all in at this point of the race, you're leaving yourself vulnerable if there's a late bit of chaos. Now, this time Pepito looks like he's got a better run. He's ahead earlier up on the braking zone, but Senna, once again, later on the brakes. Pepito's making him work for it, and Senna's just gone round the outside of him. So Pepito needs to get a bit more elbows out later on the brakes. Roll it through the apex. Because if you're Josh Boy right now, you're seeing an opportunity. get past Pepito, you get past Senna. The gap is now 3.5 seconds as we're approaching the end of lap 3. So right now, Connor will be chuckling away up front. This is just what he needed for his championship abilities and aspirations. So,
would you continue pushing with Connor right now, or would you just try and maybe
preserve
even that gap? Yeah, maintain it a little bit and just keep hold of those tyres for as long as you can.
Absolutely, look after it. Don't pick penalties up.
Yeah, Senna's going to have the advantage in 3 or 4 laps time on the tyre usage.
You sure will. You're absolutely right. The tyres being different, of course, the hard for Pepito. Sorry, for Senna and the medium for Pepito, but Blurt has just picked up a 3-second penalty for track limits. Our current championship leader up to P5 now with a 3-second penalty will be kicking himself because later in the race that can pay dividends to the drivers who will be around him later on today. Pepito's dropped back a little bit from Senna. I don't know if he got DRS. Nope, he did not get DRS, so Senna has now possibly started to find the edge, but here comes Blurt on the back of Josh Boy. Does he send it? He does not. He's holding back, playing the long game. Patience is a virtue, as they say. These guys now are going to start to find that the hard tyres on Senna's car are going to come alive. The opportunity to make the move is probably past, and if it hasn't, then it will be next lap. And Senna's starting to break that second gap, 1.2 seconds. He's even gaining on Connor, so this is where the hard tyre is going to come to life. At the back end of the field, let's have a little look. KG having a little fight with GTS.
Yeah, as I said, it's only KG's just literally just made a move as you were cutting over there, I think.
Yeah, I just want to keep a quick look at the guys on the other end of the grid. They matter too. Everyone matters in MRC. Don't care who you are, don't care what your stance or longevity in the league is, everyone's important. Unless your name's... Oh, wow! GTS nearly collects the back of the Haas. Took great avoiding action. I was about to make a joke and say that unless your name is Connor, in which case you don't matter because you've got such a lovely lead that we're not going to pay attention to you right now. And Calvin, hello in the YouTube chat. He's saying that Connor is running away with this at the moment. You're right, Calvin. He's had a fantastic opening sequence whilst everyone behind him is finding their pace. And if he maintains this, he's on for a fantastic result and good hope for his championship ambitions. Now then, no DRS.
It's still looking good, but the tyre change is happening, I think, because the 3.5 second gaps just gone down, but it's just gone back up to 3, but yeah, it was 2.8 then.
GXDM is making a move on Sully in the Red Bull for P9. He's got that done, and just behind him, Sully's now vulnerable to Gunther in the Ferrari and then Brindle in the Haas. Yeah, it's all starting to settle down a little bit in that group as, Sully's a huge moment in the double left-hander into the quad right, and this is not a place where you want to make a move, but if the gap opens, you almost have to go and stick a nose there just to pressure the other car into a mistake. But you are vulnerable to collisions, so you really don't want to make a move. And look at the back of the Red Bull, he's all over the shop at the moment, is Sully. Looks like he's got no rear end, and that's allowing Gunther to get the drag down the main pit straight. Look at the uphill undulation, using that brake zone to control the car with the DRS open. And there's an easy move for the Ferrari into P10. Pepito's left the session, he's disconnected.
No.
Oh, Pepito in P3, now P4. My personal pick for race win is in trouble. Pepito.
Yeah, he's going to start to lose another one, I think.
Yeah, hopefully he can get back in quickly. That gap to Senna, he's not making any inroads yet, but as you mentioned, this is the point where the tyres are going to come into favour of the hard users. So don't be surprised to see that gap dropping. He's pushing on. A bit further down the order, let's say hello to Isaac OUFC in P7, having a quiet race but keeping out of trouble. And there's a big gap behind him to Owen J 1992, who's got a nice gap behind. There's a bit of action going on. As Gunther, you've got Gunther's lapping Armour, and then you've got
Brindle just took some great avoiding action there. I think he outbraked himself and managed to swerve and very, very well controlled.
Sometimes the avoiding action is just as impressive as a deep late overtake. And Brindle looks like he's ready to make the move on Sully. Sully's rear tyres are definitely gone. Look at how much he's sliding around there in the double, triple, quadruple right. He is definitely lacking rear ends. Whether it's a setup, whether it's driving style, or whether he's just got no rear tyres. Could be all three.
Yeah.
He's got no rear end. In fact, no, Brindle didn't go for it. I was about to say, is Brindle going to look into turn 1? I think he could have done actually, but he doesn't. He's now going to have to sit behind the Red Bull. It does. He's going to have to sit behind the Red Bull all the way through this first sector. And if you've seen, Sully looks so unstable. The rear looks ever so loosey-goosey. Look how much Brindle was having to back off to avoid collision. He wants to go for it there, but he can't. The track does not lend for a move there. You can see it. He wants the move. And these guys are now 2.5 seconds and growing to the cars ahead. They were right with the cars ahead this time last lap. Now then, Drag King, Drag Queen, RuPaul picks up another penalty. Not a good day for our resident dress-up king. Now, will Brindle make his move? Not close enough with DRS. Vitally for the car ahead, and C8 Lou is now joining the party for these three. That, I'm sure, will get just a bit more exciting with these three involved. There's no real battles ahead apart from GXDM passing Pepito, who is disconnected. So we're going to stick with these guys, if that's okay with everyone. We want to see action. We don't want to just see cars driving fast. We want to see cars fighting. So
yeah, that's what we're going to go for it.
They sure are. And there we go, Sully pits, as we suspected, his rear tyres very much on the spent side, and C8 Lou gets a fantastic run on newer tyres, having pitted on lap 1, and he gets great drag past the Haas. Easy move with DRS. Now let's jump forward. Guntage on the back of GXDM, P9 and P8. Yep, Sully on the hards, as you said. He's got to do 21 laps on that set of tyres. I'm going to tell you for now, it won't work. 21 flying laps, no chance. Can you see if you can re-invite Pepito by any chance? Because he's just popped in the YouTube chat to ask for an invite. We've got a full safety car. Or was that? No, it's a virtual safety car, not a full. It's a virtual safety car. I'm not sure why, because we've not got a DNF. Armour Red has been disqualified for parking the car. That might be it. He might have stopped the car somewhere. Oh dear, they're not good.
I don't even know if I have Pepito.
So right now, this is interesting. If you're on the medium tyres, this is a free pit stop to get on the hards. You will then have a struggle to make the hards last to the end, but, and we're seeing Connor pitting from the lead, the time you save in the pit stop is somewhere between 8 and 10 seconds. So the question is, will you lose in the extra 3 or 4 laps that you're going to do on the tyre? Will you lose that 10 seconds in tyre life? And shift guard drive through speeding under VSC, VSC has ended midway through these guys pitting, so the gain isn't going to be as good as it could have been. And therefore, pitting under the VSC, sure, they'll benefit, but not as much as they could have. What's interesting is Senna pitted off the hard tyre onto the medium. So Senna's committing to the 2-stop, interestingly. I think that some of these guys will struggle to make it to the end, but the question is, well, Connor's only 4 seconds off the lead. Having made that stop, he can afford to have gambled on it, really. Will the guys who have pitted pit again? I think they all will. Someone's got to be worth a gamble, though, surely.
Oh no. We've got some people going around on just the track limits and killing people here tonight.
Here we go, so Senna with DRS, oh this is an easy pass on Isaac, who stayed out, Senna on brand new tyres, slipstream, DRS, wide open, Papiso, aka Martin, if you add Kisa Soze on PSN or EA, he should then be able to invite you.
Not EA. Not with me, that doesn't work.
Oh no, it's in which case with PSN, otherwise we won't be able to. I can't due to the stream. It'd be great to get you back in if we can. Failing that, try your old invite. Armour Red, if you're listening, we need you to save Pepito's day and title hopes. So, Smoggy Ghost didn't pit under the VSC, he's now pitted this lap, so I think he regrets not pitting. He's looking at the time he's leaving. That frees up Connor, who is all over the back of Senna. BC now on the same tyre for the first time in this race. Senna will definitely be making another stop. Connor, will he try and stretch these tyres to the end? Will he make another stop? That's going to be a tough one to call. What's the right decision? Personally, I would go for the pit stop, because you know Senna's got to stop. If you pit, at least you know you have the same opportunity as him. If you don't pit, you're praying that no safety cars come out. You're praying that Senna doesn't make the progress and pace that we know he has. But now on the same tyre, Senna does look the faster of the two. Connor was flying on that opening 6-7 laps, as Calvin pointed out on the YouTube chat, as you pointed out as well, Steve. And suddenly, here comes Senna. He's lining up the move, and Connor's not even defending it, because why would you? There's no point. The DRS is so powerful with high downforce here, and that's just an easy move for the McLaren man.
Thing is, though, like you say, I mean, Senna's got to be coming in again. Got to be. There's no way that's...
Yeah, you're not taking the medium tyres 19-20 laps. Absolutely no chance, Charles Dance.
If I go quiet for like a second, I'm grabbing a drink.
That is permitted. Hydration is key, my friend. I'll keep the fans focused. So, C8 Lou and P5 in the V car, the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls Formula 1 team car. He's on the back of GXD. As Isaac pits from P3. He's probably wishing he pitted a couple of laps ago. C8 Lou makes the move on GXD, round the outside into turn 1. Can leave from a baby. He's got a lot more pace right now. Down the order, we've got a bit of action between Smoggy Ghost up the inside of Brindle into turn 1. The turn 1 braking zone is a lovely one to go for. Brindle brakes very late and Smoggy broke early, which meant the move was not completed. You have a yellow flag at the final corner from Blurred Magic.
Seconds.
And that is a full safety car. A full safety car. So those who didn't pit, still haven't pitted, have now got a chance to keep their race alive and get in the box. Those who maybe want to go to the end, get yourself in the box now for a set of hard tyres. So Senna, right now. Senna, it's worth him pitting for another set of mediums. Yeah. Even though he's in P1, he can't get to the end on this tyre. If he pits for a new set of tyres, whatever that tyre is, medium or hard, he could make it to the end if he's very careful. And look at that. Senna's a wise man. He's listening to he hits the wall pit entry. I was saying the brave, wise words of Bailey, but I didn't tell you to hit the wall. Oh, that's not so. That's Jesus Reckon. I'm chatting absolute rubbish. I'm just very sorry, but I'm drunk, clearly. Senna in P1 and McLaren even. Jesus Drag King, he's listening to me. He's pitting. Senna, I think, should pit. I'm calling it now. He's going to pit. I'm calling it. I'm wrong. Senna, you're not wise. He's really made a mistake there. I knew he said something else. He's really bottling it. If he having not pitted, this is a free pit stop. I'm a little bit concerned. And if you look here, C8 Lou, GXDM, they're in the pits. They know the score. Josh Boy stays out, but KG pits. Lurt stays out. Brindle stays out. Smog stays out. ONJ stays out. Isaac has already pitted. We saw that just a couple of laps ago.
I got a feeling Senna's thinking there's going to be another safety car.
Well, at this point, he now needs a safety car, or he needs Connor's tyres to really drop off and his own tyres to last. And truth be told, mate, I'm concerned for him.
Yeah.
Because as we saw in the first stint when he was on the hards and Connor was on the medium, he was just starting to get to grips with those tyres and just starting to come back into play. We've had that opening sequence of laps now where the medium's faster. We used it to close the gap, make the move and extend the gap, which has now been all for nothing. And Connor is on the hard tyre, which is now about to come good.
Yeah.
Blank says, is Connor going to go for the softs? I hope for his sake he's not, because that that would be a very, very bold call.
Car was 4 or 5 laps from the end.
Even then, I'd be going for the medium.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I was 2 laps under the safety car with the new tyres, I'd be happy. But yeah, no more than 3. Well, they last about 2 or 3 laps at a decent pace, and then after that, they're just not worth it.
Exactly. People of YouTube, all 21 of you, pop yourself onto the stream. Hello Blank, he's getting involved. Let's have a look at the tyre life. So 3 laps for Senna, Connor, Josh Boy and Blurt, all alike. Martin, I cannot invite you because I have to run the stream. I do apologise. If you try and add Kaiser Soda on PlayStation, he will add you if you can do that. Failing that, message Armar, he might be able to invite you back in. So,
I did have a quick check on my PSN, but I can't find that username.
Oh, that's a shame. Hopefully we can get you back in. Obviously the safety car does give an opportunity. I think so down in 14th currently, there's just a slim chance, but still a chance that some good points can be recovered, and maybe even more. And obviously, as you mentioned rightly at the start of the screen, anything can happen. There is a lot of ample opportunity in this race for anyone from Senna down to Shiftguard, the whole length of the grid surrounded by both McLarens, to prosper, all fall apart, very much like I did on Monday. But the falling apart, not the prospering. Or we can prosper like Calvin and Ben in the double Williams where they got a 1-2, for example. You know, swings and roundabouts.
I wasn't paying much attention to it before, so it may not have been there, but has it always been this cloudy and
yes.
Not so sunny? Yeah.
I think it has been. Obviously no one's popped up in the old chat to say that rain is on the horizon, so one can only assume that rain is, rain is staying away. I think it would make it quite interesting if the rain did occur.
Good now.
So let's wait and see, obviously, if this safety car period actually opens up the opportunity for rain, because, whatever weather forecast was around for after the hour of the forecast now becomes part of the race, because, time has passed. Blank thinks Senna can drag out the tyres to the end. Now, Blank, I'm glad you have confidence. And Pepito has rejoined. Fantastic news, everyone. Pepito's back in the session. That is just what we want to see. We're going to get one more lap of safety car because we've got 2 cars at the back of the field. Every lap that goes by, Senna has a chance that he might, maybe, just maybe, make it to the end of the race. Blank seems to think that he can stretch them out. He's already got 4 laps. I know the safety car's made up a couple of those and will make one more. Or 3 laps now and make one more.
I think he maybe needs to ease back on his tyre warming procedure.
I agree.
Before the end, just to try and conserve that rubber for as long as is humanly possible.
It can. Personally, I think he should have pitted as soon as the safety car came out, and I know it just sounded horrible giving up position, but in the long run, I think it would have been better. That said, as Blank has rightfully said, he's now got track position, and he could make the tyres go to the end. It's worth a gamble, and he'll have good pace on the getaway. Connor will be under attack from Josh Boy, so if Senna times it right here, there is a very good chance that something could fall in his favour. But as you mentioned, these skies are looking a little bit grey. I say a little bit. If I was overcast as a British 'summer day, so very. So let's wait and see. Obviously, if this safety car period actually opens up the opportunity for rain, because Now then, we
wonder, I know Blurt's on a penalty, but how much this restart might benefit him as well, because like you say,
yeah.
he wants these points.
What's interesting is Brindle in P5 did not pit. He's on the set of tyres he started the race on, the only man on the grid to not have made a pit stop yet in this race, up to P5. He's clearly gambling, which...
bold.
It's bold. It's crazily bold, but as we've seen from the two safety cars already, there is an opportunity, and the safety car has popped its lights off. That means it's on the way to the box. So Senna becomes the default safety car.
Those fronts.
Yeah, he wants to know that when he goes into the final corner full send and then into turn 1 full send, he's got all the grip that he can expect from that front axle. Right. So, interestingly, Connor's hanging back, not weaving, he's just looking after his tyres. Complete polar opposites here in preparation. So, where would you go? Would you go before the final two corners?
No, I'd go after or before the last turn down this last little straight here.
So I would have gone. Funny enough, about Ant went in the safety car restart on Monday, midway through the right-hander, the long right. I'd have gone there because that's when no one expects it. And Senna goes where you said. Oh no, he doesn't. He's still not gone yet. Now he's gone. I don't think he's caught them out as much as he could have done, but he's got a 0.8 of a second lead, and there's some moves behind. And we've got a Ferrari looking up the inside of C8 Lou. As Smoggy goes in turn 1, he does keep it neat. We've got an Aston Martin having moments. That is GXDM. He's lost a few places at turn 1, not ideal. Oh, collision ahead between the Haas of KG and Owen in the Mercedes. And GXDM making opportunities out of nothing here to get through past KG. There's a lot of chaos ahead. Oh, we've got McLaren round. Oh, it's a lap of McLaren at Shift God. Apologies everyone, I'm very sorry, I'm causing conflict here. So, it's all a little bit dicey on that restart. We love to see the close action, but we don't love seeing the action getting too aggressive. Pepito making the move on Isaac. These two are two drivers who opening stint the race in the top 6 and no longer are. Pepito up to P11. He was 14th on the restart, now he's 11th. Are we going to see Pepito make a move through the field and recover in position? I called him as my potential race winner at the start of this race. My money is on Pepito to recover to P5 at least.
Well, he's going to do fairly well if he keeps up with his punch anyway, because most of the good 5 cars in front of him, they've all got at least 3 seconds.
Indeed, and his teammate is one of the cars ahead of him. Look how much more grip he's got than KG. He looks so much more confident. He's a man on a mission. And KG's going to the inside.
Very defensive.
And here goes Pepito round the outside. Can he hang on? He's just kept it on track.
Still there.
This is where one of you really needs to back out, otherwise it gets messy. And
brave.
Pepito is the one that backs out. He's the wise one. I'm not saying KG's not wise. I quite like KG. Kingsley Green's a lovely guy, but Pepito wants to live to fight another day. Yeah. We've got a car round. Owen recovering from a moment. That's Pepito up to P10. And Brindle, the two Haas and the two Astons having this fight is intense, but let's jump to the front because Connor's within DRS of our race leader.
Perez just got past Blurt.
He has, so Blurt in P5, he needs a podium ready today. Especially with Connor in P2.
Blurt's podium is going to be miracle length at the moment, I would say, based on the penalties he's currently holding.
Indeed, he really needs to make some moves. He needs to look at Connor and hope that Connor has some issues later on as well. Because as it stands, Connor's picking up a chunk of points, 20 points for P2. Blurt in P5 is going to be losing around 7 or 8 points to him. He's already a point So he's only about 5 points ahead of him.
Okay,
so
Pepito and the Astons have just played the team game there, and
yep, Pepito P7
just pulled to the side, let him pass just before the last turn.
Yep, so Pepito P7, and then we got behind us GXDM and it's only KG. They're still going through turn 1. Oh, GXD got a great drive of the exit and holds position. Yeah, it's interesting. Pepito now 2.5 seconds of the gap to the cars ahead. He's also on a medium tyre, so he's got to look after this tyre. He can't push too hard. If he can make them last the end.
Blur is killing himself with these track limits.
He sure is. As KG goes, nearly goes around the outside of GXDM, and behind them, we've got the Williams and the Alpine. That's Drag King and Isaac fighting, and then Owen and Mercedes. We're going to have a hell of a fight down the back straight here between these guys. Sorry if you're one of the guys following the drivers at the front, like Blur, who's at the moment. Sorry if you're interested in seeing them, but this is some fantastic fighting between a lot of the back and midfield guys. And KG gets the move done.
They'll jump to the front just to see Connor's 7/10 at the moment in centre.
Yes, let's go back to the front. We've had some fun watching the midfield races. Everyone matters in the MRC stream. We want to get all the action in, not just the front. But this is getting juicy. This is where Senna's tyres are going to start to lose their edge. And
Senna just ran really wide out of the second to last turn in there, and I don't know if that's a warning or not. I haven't seen anything come up, but maybe they're pushing, or maybe the tyres are, like I say, outbraked himself.
11 laps to go. If his tyres are already starting to struggle, then this is going to be a very painful third and a bit of, well, just under a third of the race if his tyres are on the way.
Connor's really closing him on the sector, in the sector 2.
And Blank, who is Senna's biggest supporter and advocate for his tyre strategy, has now said he no longer has any confidence in Senna's tyre life. The aggressive weaving in this game just adds more wear than temperature. That's exactly what you were saying beforehand during the safety car.
Yeah.
Exactly that. So it's good to see the Blank and yourself are both screwed on mentally. You're both absolutely on the ball. I understand why Senna was doing it. Connor has a look at the inside, backs out of that one. That was just a look. We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look.
Just letting you know I'm still here. I'm close.
Exactly. That's exact. I hope you're saying about the drivers and not just a personal reference to me there.
No, not at all.
Yeah, of course, that's exactly it though. If you're in the position that Connor's in right now, as we saw with Piastri on Lando Norris in the Hungarian Grand Prix at the weekend just gone, or a week and a half ago now, obviously Piastri a couple of times having a little do-or-die send move up the inside, not necessarily wanting to make the move there and then, but just to give Lando the hurry up, I'm here, I'm going to get you. Of course, in that case, he didn't. And Blank says, yes, Senna must be feeling this tyre wear. He's really pushing it very hard on the tyres, then not going to last. I agree. Completely agree.
It's a shame we can't, I know we didn't announce it on the chat, but get a look at what the actual tyre wear is.
Oh, I'd love to know.
Cars or something, that'd be interesting.
I would love to have access to the tyre wear life back. That would be fantastic.
I'm going to jump on board myself with Senna actually, just to see how the corners look from in the car.
Indeed, we're going to sit on board with Connor on the mainstream, and you can see how close Connor's getting through the low traction corner there. That's where tyre life is most vital. Low speed, tight corners. Now, battery deployed, plenty of boost, but Senna's got straight line speed, maybe saving battery himself. Here goes Connor! Up the inside. They both keep it on track limits. Senna, just like he did earlier against Pepito, hanging it around the outside. He's confident on the outside line there. But Connor going with the switchback now and not getting the move done just yet. There is still ample opportunity in this race. If you're Connor, you play the waiting game right now. The tyre life is only going to get more and more in your favour. The only threat from behind is C8 Lou, who is a higher tier reserve. Just need to keep it on the island, as they say. Keep it on the black stuff. And yep, Senna's pitting. Connor follows him in. He's not wasting the opportunity on. Now, I said this earlier, he has the opportunity to stretch it out to the end or box as well. Clearly Connor is not happy with his tyre wear. What tyre was Connor going for? He goes for the hard. And Senna has gone for... And we're looking at his pit box because the the lovely EA people have decided that's what we want to see when it's a pit stop.
Yeah, so I've got...
So Senna is on the mediums and Connor's on the hards. So we've got 9 laps. Both tyres will make those 9 laps easily. The mediums will be fantastic for the first 5. The hards will come good. The problem we've got though is Gunther is ahead of Connor and Senna. And then just ahead of Gunther, you've then got Owen, Isaac, GXD, Smoggy, and then Blurt. And then KG, there's the train of cars ahead of them. So right now, these guys have got some real moves to make. I expect Senna to get this move done. Oh, look at him. Look how much more grip he's got already. So Senna's getting that move done. There he goes. Connor's a bit too far back to get this one done, I think, but doesn't even get DRS actually. So that's vital actually for these guys that Senna's got a move done. Connor hasn't. But look how much more grip he's got through the hairpin, and that's an easy pass on Gunther for Connor. Let's look to the front. So we've got Blurt fighting with Smoggy Ghost at the moment. So Blurt, looks like Blurt and Pepito have both been struck by the curse from both me and you. C8 Lou, our race leader, pits. We'll come up behind our dynamic duo of Gunther. I'm sorry, of Connor and Senna. Smoggy Ghost pits from P5. By the way,
second.
Pepito P2, everybody.
Senna's just jumping right up. He's just taken.
Easy move. Owen.
The last corner, but the pit stops have bumped him right back up.
Indeed, C8 Lou's car ahead of Connor, by the way. Connor had a bit of a bad scruffy lap there and has actually been jumped by C8 Lou, who's overcut him. Now, Connor needs, while he's got warm tyres and C8 Lou's got colder tyres, to get the move done early. Otherwise, he's going to say goodbye to Senna and the race win today. So blank, Connor pitted because he wanted to make sure that he didn't lose out at the end of the race if his tyre life was poor, risking track limits or even no pace. So he decided to match what he saw in the McLaren of Senna doing. However, like you, I feel there was an opportunity to have gone to the end. And Senna making more moves, GXDM the next one. So Senna's actually got already to his nemesis, as we're going to call him now, Connor. He's got 3 cars between them and about 3.5 seconds. Crucially right now with 7 and a bit laps to go, that's probably curtains, that's probably it. Failing any penalties or mistakes or real dramas like a safety car. And Blurt continues. Blurt is not pitting. KG is in the pits though. So will Senna get past Blurt nice and quickly? Bear in mind, he's got the DRS, he's using battery, he's going to the lake send.
It's going to be,
there he goes, up the inside. Easy peasy. Blurt's going to get the switch back, but Senna just blocks him off nicely.
GXD's gone on a set of soft 6 laps.
Indeed. Connor, by the way, has lost the pace that he once had. He's being attacked by his teammate Owen behind him. He's dropped back from C8 Lou in P5. Pepito is next for Senna, 7 seconds up the road. He's got 7 laps to find 7 seconds on Pepito. Pepito is now just over a second behind Josh Boy. Dare I say, come on Pepito, because, after all his disconnection earlier, not that I'm not biased at all, I know I predicted him earlier, but I would like to see him get a good strong result after what was a harsh and unfair disconnection earlier. His championship...
15th,
14th or 15th, yeah. 15th. To lose his championship potential over a disconnect, to then be brought back into the fray like this. Come on, that's the stuff of dreams if he can get himself back into a pole position in the race. And currently he has P2, he's on the cusp of DRS to Josh Boy. If he can get that DRS, that would delay the charge of Pepito, sorry, of Senna on Pepito, and potentially could go for the win. You didn't get DRS on this sequence here for the start finish straight. That was so ever so close to it, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling quite confident for this to happen, to be honest.
I think it'd be nice to see it, and Pepito, he has a good first sector here. Again, he's right on the cusp of DRS. If he has a good first sector, he could just make a sneaky move or get closer move. He's now within that DRS gap. It's down to 8.5 tenths. Come on, Pepito. Not that commentators often cheer for a particular driver, but this is thrilling to see. It's thrilling to see after the disconnect earlier. You want to see him recover, and look at this. He's found so much time in that first sector. He's 6 tenths behind. Can he make the move? Does he dare? A bit of a twitch from Josh Boy, and Pepito's got a much better exit. This is on.
Going in already before.
Here he goes. Oh, Josh Boy with a late move, but Pepito read it.
Easily done that. I mean, and got that corner nicely afterwards as well. Braking perfect.
Happy days, yeah. Now, if he can pull away, or even just keep Josh Boy at arm's length but drag him with him, he has a chance. Again, I wish, like you said earlier, that we could see the tyre graphics for just how much tyre life is in play, because, you know, that was spicing up the party somewhat. Let's just have a look at Senna. Senna looks extremely comfortable in this new set of mediums. He's got C8 Lou all over the back of him, higher to reserve, not his concern. Connor's still 3.4 seconds behind them.
And then, that's just penalty central, downwards from that, I guess. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at the finish line.
It is. So obviously, let's get the penalties up on screen. Blur is the king of the penalties today. 15 whole seconds.
Oh no, hold on. There's one better.
Oh no! GTS Drag Queen, big slave for RuPaul. 18 seconds. And then 12 for GXDM. The fellow Bailey he's picking up points. It's just the wrong kind of points. It's penalty points.
Oh, C8 must have heard us talking, so just throw in a little extra one.
C8 Lou, the man from Wolverhampton, needs to have less of the orange chips, then he might keep his car within the white stuff. Within the white lines. Get off those orange chips, C8 Lou. Now then, Senna is still closing. 3 seconds is the gap, and 5.5 laps to go. You'd say that surely Senna's going to have the pace to catch at the end.
I would have thought so. And Peter's not really made much headway with Josh.
No, Josh is just hanging on. He's just within DRS range. Yellow flag, interestingly. Looks like we're all fine though.
Yeah, can't see anything.
The track map doesn't seem to be a condition. Hold on. Hold on. No. Pepito's pitting. Pepito's not going to go to the end.
No.
Oh, he must have absolutely killed those tyres.
This has got to be that time where you put the soft on.
So,
there we go.
You go this far into the race. You've got 4 laps to go, and then you pit. You might as well have pitted 5 laps ago, like Senna did, like C8 Lou did, like pretty much everyone did. Oh, Pepito. Now he's Josh Boy, the vulnerable lone soldier in P1. He's going to try and go to the end, surely.
He's got now in, 2 laps. That's a shame.
Yeah. I was really hoping that he was going to find a way to drag that out to the end. That is a real shame. Yep, Blank is correct. That's the same set of tyres since that first safety car for Pepito. Don't know how he's managed to... he's now picked up 3 seconds, so that's him pushing like a stab rat to try and make places up. He's in P8. Look, he can still make positions up. P6, maybe even P5 is doable. Go and get him, my friend. Oh, let's have a look at the tyre life. So Pepito up to P6, fight with P6 and 7. Let's have a look at what's going on there.
Yeah, Pepito is only having a little kg.
So this is where the brand new tyres, soft tyres, are going to come alive. Look how much more confidence he's got to throw that car around. Look at the end, the switchback he's got there. Oh, that's disgusting. What a move from Pepito. Come on, Pepito, great move, and he's hanging it around there. He's backed out of it. Look, he's so sensible. He should have, and could have closed the deal on KG there. The longer he takes to pass KG, the less chance he's going to have of passing Blurt.
Yeah.
He's 3 seconds up the road.
I think maybe played it a little bit too safe there. I would have maybe kept my foot on the throttle and gone for the move up the inside of the next corner.
Yeah, and he's not gone for it into turn 1 either. So the benefit these tyres are going to have, he's losing every second. Now, interestingly, let's go back to lead. Senna within half a second of Josh Boy, 3 laps to go. So Josh Boy's lead is about to be no more. He's got to lose 2 places at once. The question is for him is how long can he hold on to these guys when they pass him? Senna is now retaking the race lead. Through he goes. C8 leads not close enough to capitalise.
I think even with C8, you know, the penalty there, you know, I think, like you said, as long as he can hold on to that position there, he's not going to lose out from the podium there. There's going to something drastic happen.
Pepito makes the move up the inside on KG at the end of the DRS straight. Nice simple pass. P6 for Pepito. Now P5 is on the cards. Go and see what you can do. The man from Bulgaria is on the push.
Oh, what?
And C8 Lou and Josh Boy pits. That's why the timing screen glitched. Apologies, everyone got excited and saw the timing screen going a bit crazy. That was just because of the pit entry being a corner cut, allowing a temporary change of position. So here we go. Pepito with a textbook smooth as DRS surely as Blurt defends the inside. And that's not going to really do much stead for him. And yeah, through goes KG as well. So much more tyre life. Blurt has no rear tyres left. So Pepito up to P4.
Yeah, not too bad.
Considering where he was earlier and the disconnection, P4 is a great result for him. The problem he's got is he's going to lose points, obviously a couple of points to, 4 points in all to his rival Connor, but he's going to gain on Blurt. That's the positive.
Yeah, and he shouldn't lose position where he is at the moment on track at least because of the way the penalties are looking. He should still be, not being third possibly. No.
So there's a little move going on further down the grid. Brindle on the back of Guntz. This is for P10. Every position matters, every point counts. Does he go for it? He does. He goes for it late. And he gets the move done just. Guntz is coming back at him, but doesn't quite get the move done. But C8 Lou pits, by the way. Part of the higher tier drivers. So that pushes Connor and Pepito up a place each. Pepito podium after all of this. You know what? I'm really happy for him to be back in the podium places. Let's just hope he doesn't have a moment the last lap to cost himself it. Tuesday striking, just letting cars through. He's a higher tier, he doesn't want to intervene with other people's points. And Connor's 2.7, 2.6 behind Senna, so Senna's losing a bit of time in that first sequence. Interestingly, obviously, if one of these two was to pick up a penalty, it could change the race somewhat. As I say that, Connor picks up a 3-second penalty.
Josh has just got the move done on C8 as well, coming out of this.
And Blurt. He's just got Blurt as well. So Josh Boy recovering to P5. Indeed. Is KG going to steal the podium away from Pepito? I don't think so. I think he's probably safe here. Oh no, he has! He's absolutely sent it. He's had to come off the brakes and let him go. Wow, that was chaotic. But let's jump to the front as Senna, with a comfortable 3-second lead to a car behind with a penalty, is coming through the final 2 corners now. This looks like bread and butter to me. As he comes through the final corner for the final time, the checker flag waves. And that is race victory for Senna. We've heard those words before. Connor takes P2. And that will be the championship lead for Connor. Papito comes across the line now for a great recovery. Great recovery drive for P3. My drive of the day. My drive of the day.
Can't disagree.
Josh Boy, P4, he'll be happy. And Blurt, our championship leader, finished P5, drops to P7 because of his penalties, as you mentioned earlier. Those penalties, P8 even, P10, P11. Blurt will be kicking himself. He's just taken a huge hit in that championship standings.
Yeah,
so let's just have a quick look at the existing standings. So Connor, going into this, had a huge opportunity. Third in the standings, 5 points off of Blurt. He would have gained a huge amount on him. He was 4 points behind Papito. I think Papito and Connor going into the final race might be level on points, or be a point apart. It's Papito versus Connor for the final race for the title next Wednesday. Holy moly! But of course, congratulations to our podium trio. Of course, our race Wednesday Senna, P2 Connor, and P3 my personal driver of the day, Papito.
Yep, absolutely. Great race, great recovery.
Fantastic drive from all three of those, but especially Papito after their disconnection on lap, I think it was lap 7, 8, 9, roughly around then, to recover to a P3. Phenomenal drive, even with a bold strategy, which I was questioning. But obviously P1 Senna, 2 for Connor, 3 for Papito, 4 for Josh Boy. Again, bold strategy, but he got a great result out of it. P5 Smoggy Ghost, P7 to P5, good result. P6 for Isaac, 7th for Owen, 8th for Gumph, 9th for C8 Lou, and 10th for Brindle. Again, a few bold strategies from Brindle today. Blurt, P11 penalties, 15 seconds worth, costing him what was P5 on the road. P12 for GXDM, Sully P13, KG 14th, Nels 15th, GTS Drug King 16th, Shiftguard 17th, and then DNS in 18th and 19th, Blurred Magic and Armor Red. Thank you, Steve, for joining me. It's been a pleasure. It's been a while since we've done comms together. I think it's been a hell of a long time, actually. But it's been fun.
Racing tonight as well.
Yeah, it's been cracking. And of course, the title decider, which will be between Blurt and Connor. Obviously, an outside chance that it could see a recovery. Very unlikely recovery, but as I said, but from our championship leader in the final race. But never say never. That will be next week, our final round of the season in Imola. So don't forget to tune in. We also have one last race at Texas tomorrow at 7 o'clock UK time, 1900, for the MRC 0 boys. That's 0 assists, 0 dams given for anything other than just pace and pure raw driving. Tune in for that and see how those boys and girls get along. I think you're racing tomorrow, aren't you?
I am indeed.
Fantastic. Good luck with that. Have a good time. I'll be tuning in, of course. For the meanwhile, though, everyone have a lovely evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe and have a lovely evening. Have a good week. Take care, bye.
Everybody.